in our main event, we'll have a warrior, Jesus Soto Caras from Los Mochis, Sinaloa, who will look to continue his career with the wars against Juan Carlos Abreu, who's itching to get back in the ring after 17 months away from boxing. Golden Boy Boxing on ESPN is presented by Tecate, the official beer of boxing. We're at the Casino del Sol awaiting tonight's main event, and no one awaits tonight's main event more than Jesus Soto Caras. Saying one final prayer before stepping into the ring, he says, the future is uncertain, but I love this sport, I love this profession, I love this job, and I get melancholy, I get emotional when I think about saying goodbye, but my team makes me laugh, and this is the reason I still do this.
Ahora, mira, en este punto de mi carrera, que ya veo, dice la Yeya, el futuro es muy incierto, pues yo veo el futuro de donde la carrera de Soto Caras se puede acabar. Le estoy agarrando mucho respeto, mucho amor al deporte. Antes lo miraba como un trabajo, y lo hacía, siempre lo he hecho lo mejor, pero lo miraba como un trabajo. Ahora sí me pongo a pensar cuando diga adiós, digo, voy a llorar. Al momento que diga adiós, yo voy a llorar. Yo cuando peleamos con Berto, todos me miraban que iba nomás de bulto, ¿no? Salí con esa determinación de partirle su madre, ¿no? En el 12º round, que si no hubiera salido así, todos me mandaban a boxear. Le dije, no, voy a salir a partirle en su madre, con todo respeto. Y salí con la determinación y gracias a Dios se dio. Y ahí fue cuando pues, le ganamos. Es una gran memoria, porque de ahí peleé contra Keith Thurman. Luego, para la gente, yo no ando con chingaderas. Yo me subo a pelear, a lo que la gente quiere ver. Así sea que pierda, que gane o que empate. Pero me muero en la raya. Como te digo, le doy a la gente lo que quiere, porque de cierta manera es la que me paga. No estuviera en estos planos, si nada más me subiera a agarrar mi cheque. Ya lo que soy el Soto Caras, el agresivo, el guerrero mexicano de los Mochis, Sinaloa, que siempre da lo mejor. Y yo creo ahora no va a ser la excepción. Simplemente, te soy sincero, es sacar la revolución mi experiencia. Pues yo creo mi legado va a ser de que la gente, y yo creo que ese va a decir, ese peleador siempre peleaba por nosotros.
And there is Jesus Soto Caras. He says the end may be near. We'll find out after tonight. But until that happens, he's going to give the fans a show here on ESPN. He's always smiling. He's always happy because he knows that this is his domain, the center of the ring. Now let's take a look at the Tecate tail of the tape. Both fighters are orthodox. There's a 1-inch reach advantage for Jesus Soto Caras. Total rounds, 239 more, because he's got 327 compared to 88 for Abreu, who's coming off of the longest layoff of his career. That's 410 more days than Soto Caras has been off. Joe Martinez with the introduction.
Ladies and gentlemen, live on ESPN from the fabulous Casino del Sol here in Tucson, Arizona, it is time for the main event of the evening. 10 rounds of boxing, this scheduled in the welterweight division. Presented by Oscar De La Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions with Showdown Promotions. In association with Don Chargan and Paco Presents. Sponsored by Tecate, the official beer of boxing. Hennessy, never stop, never settle, and form. Your 3 judges appointed to score this bout on the 10-point must system: Chris Flores, Steve Sandoval, and Roger Woods. And when the bell rings, the action begins inside. Your referee in charge, Rocky Byrne. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the judges are ready and the fighters are ready. Tucson, Arizona, make some noise if you are ready! Introducing you first, fighting out of the blue corner. Wearing gold with camouflage, he weighed in officially 147 pounds. His professional record, 19 victories, including 18 knockouts. Hailing from La Romana de la República Dominicana, here is Juan Carlos Abreu! And across the ring stands his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. Wearing tonight black with the flag of Mexico, he weighed in officially 146 1/2 pounds. This historic veteran has a record standing 28 victories, 12 defeats, 4 draws with 18 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the former 2-time NABF welterweight champion, presentando el hijo de los Mochis, Sinaloa, México, Caras.
Mantenga su barrio todo el tiempo. Consigo break, quiero que se párense. En caso de una caída, va para la esquina neutral más lejana. No salgan hasta cuando digo box. ¿Hay preguntas? Buena suerte a los dos.
All right, Joel Diaz, what are your expectations of tonight's main event?
A memorable fight.
I love that.
I just think that this is going to be a memorable fight for the fans. And that's due to Soto Caras and his mentality for this fight tonight.
All right, Abreu can make it a very boring fight because he throws very little punches, or he can make it an interesting fight. He said, I don't want to throw 200 punches around like Soto Caras does, although I can. I want to be effective. If I throw 5, I want to land 5. I want to make them count. And he says, I know what he brings to the ring. I know that if I put it all together, my skill, my speed, my footwork, and my amateur experience, I can come out on top. The one thing you can't measure, though, is heart. Soto Caras has a ton of it.
Exactly. Soto Caras can take tons of punches, and he'll still be in your face.
Big overhand right there from Abreu, who said, I'm going to make him count. And that's exactly what he did here early. Caras told us in the fighter meetings, look, I could tell you I'm going to be smart, I'm going to go out there and box, but we all know that's not who I am.
Once the bell rings, he throws everything out the window. As you can see right now, he's walking into some good shots.
Yeah.
Abreu is being smart. And one thing that Soto Caras is, he's slow. He starts slow, and right now, he's taking some punishment.
The thing with Soto Caras is weight. He walked us through the whole ordeal of making weight for this fight. How before he left, the night before he traveled to Tucson, Arizona, he had taken his kid to the swap meet. He bought some papaya and a pound of grapes. He froze the grapes, and he said, in the middle of the night, he woke up, his mouth was a little dry because he was somewhat dehydrated. He ate the whole pound of grapes, and he says, you know what, I'll just run longer tomorrow. And then when he stepped on the scale, he had gained that pound, and he said, that's what you get for being such a glutton. But nonetheless, that's who he's always been.
It happens. Fighters do that. You know, especially on the process of losing weight. You know, sometimes they grab a bottle of water to take a sip, and all of a sudden, the whole bottle's gone. And he ran us through the process yesterday, and he says, I had to pay for it. I paid for my mistakes, and I'm here.
Jesus Soto Caras, 36 years old, 16 years as a professional. That's 10 more years than his opponent, Juan Carlos Abreu, who's only fought 88 rounds in 24 fights. That's 3.6 rounds per fight. Big right hand there from Abreu. It hits on the forehead of Soto Caras, who, as we all know, can take a punch. But that's not what you want to be doing. He doesn't want to be a punching bag here against Abreu, who can be very skilled and who has some pop. He's got 18 knockouts and 19 victories. So when he sets his mind to it, he can really crack.
You know what, Bernardo? Abreu was landing some really good shots, very clean shots. At this point of Caras' career, his age, the sacrifice of losing weight, this can be a big issue. And, you know, they need to tell him, switch it up a little bit. Because if he keeps going through this, he can get hurt.
The extracurriculars there after the bell. And it was Abreu who got the best of Jesus Soto Caras, but Rocky Burke was quick to go to Abreu and said, you do that again, and I'm going to take a point away.
he needs to be very careful because knowing Soto Caras and the heart that he brings into a fight, things can get critical.
All right, typical Soto Caras round where he threw 90 punches, landed 22. But Abreu threw 74. That's atypical for him. But look at the connect percentage. 10% higher for Abreu, who was extremely effective. And you mentioned, Joel, very efficient and landed some hard shots. Now, the fact that Soto Caras was able to take him is a good sign, but it's a bad sign if you're Soto Caras because that's not the type of shots you want to be taking at this stage.
No, not at this stage. Remember, he's an older fighter now, 36 years old, and then going through the process of losing weight. Yesterday, you know, coming into the scale, he looked a little bit hurt through the weight. So you don't need to take so many punches like this in a fight. He needs to, right now, Soto Caras needs to walk Abreu down with a good defense. At this point of his career, he needs to work with Abreu's work. Don't look for him because he'll get countered. Abreu was faster.
Right.
You know, Soto Caras averages 93 punches per round. That's 42 more punches than Juan Carlos Abreu averages. He throws about 51 punches per round. He lands about 15 more punches per round. That's not the case for round number 1, according to CompuBox. And he lands at a 7% higher clip than Abreu. So Abreu, over the fight, becomes less effective. And Soto Caras, as he proved against Mauricio Herrera, becomes more effective as the rounds progress.
Yeah, these older fighters nowadays, you know, they start slow. And the experience starts kicking in after the second half of the fight.
Big right hands there from Juan Carlos Abreu, who, I mean, the only way that Jesus Soto Caras moves his head is if Abreu shakes it for him with the right hand. So Jesus Soto Caras, you know, he said it jokingly, you know, I'm not going to be a defensive fighter. I'm not going to be a Hall of Famer. I know I'm not going to be a world champion, but I'm a warrior in the ring. But you don't want to take that to the other extreme like he's taking it now, where he's allowing Abreu to tee off.
Soto Caras is using good experience. See, he's landing the right hand on top, and once in a while he hits that left hook to the body, which is a great strategy to slow down Abreu down the road. Soto Caras has power on the right hand when he lets it go at a long range, and he connected it twice. So he needs to stay too, especially when you drop your left. Abreu has his left hand down. He needs to establish the right hand.
Joel Diaz breaking down round number 2 of our main event tonight between Soto Caras and Abreu on Golden Boy Boxing on ESPN.
This year, give them a magical experience they'll never forget. For memories that last a lifetime, give the gift of Disney Vacations.
This is a national healthcare alert from the Health Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You could qualify for a pain-relieving knee brace at little or no cost to you. Get free delivery, and all the paperwork is handled by our accredited suppliers at no charge to you. We also have other pain-relieving braces available for shoulder, ankle, and your back. Call the number on your screen right now to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost.
Alongside Joel Diaz, I'm Bernardo Osuna. And Joel, you mentioned slow starts and bad habits from Soto Caras.
Soto Caras is walking straight and walks into this with a right uppercut. Why? Because he's becoming a one-dimensional fighter. There's no head movement. He needs to move his head, start getting some bowing and weaving in there.
You know, it reminds us of what happened in the fight, his last fight on Golden Boy Boxing on ESPN against Mauricio Herrera, and that was on August 4th at Fantasy Springs. He let Mauricio Herrera get off to a big lead, and then he closed strong, but he wasn't able to close the gap and lost a majority decision. He can't afford to do that against tonight.
You can't let your opponent get the best of you in the earlier rounds. You have to pick it up round by round, because when you try to pick it up towards the end, maybe they accumulated rounds already. So you're already behind. It will be too late, especially against a fighter like Abreu that is slick, has good footwork. Soto Caras is coming in. You don't see no head movement whatsoever. He's just walking straight through jabs that Abreu is landing on you.
Abreu told us there are no easy fights, and Jesus Soto Caras, you know, this can either be an easy fight or a tough one for me. But I know he's going to throw punches, but he's got no defense. And so far, that's exactly what we've seen in the ring.
Right.
Soto Caras is just looking for one punch that can hurt Abreu, and it's going to be hard. We have a fresh fighter there. Abreu, look, Abreu's combining good combinations, coming up with a right uppercut, following with a left hook, and moving. He's never a sitting target. He's always moving. And Soto Caras is just coming forward, flat-footed. No movement on his feet, no movement on his upper body.
You know, those are the fighters who have given Soto Caras trouble over the years, the movers, the Keith Thurmans, the Devin Alexanders of the world. So, big overhand right there from Abreu. He caught Soto Caras lunging in. Now Soto Caras switches to the southpaw stance. I've never seen him do that before, but I guess there's always a first time, even if it's 16 years in as a pro.
Oh, he's trying something different. You know, maybe it works for him.
Right.
If he practices in the gym, maybe bringing it into a fight, it'll work for him. We'll see. See, he's telegraphing his punches. And you cannot telegraph a punch on a fighter that moves on you. It's always waiting for you to make that mistake.
You know, Jesus Soto Caras tends to be extremely honest with us as he lands a big right hand there against Juan Carlos Abreu, and he says, you know, there's been times in a fight when my body doesn't recover from the sacrifice of making weight. I have moments, you know, because of the fatigue of getting up early and all that. But nonetheless, I know that once I'm in the ring, I can give it my all. I find a way. And that's what he's trying to do here in round 3 of a 10-round fight. Trying to find a way. That left to the body could be key here. He's once again, Soto Caras is in the southpaw stance, and when he goes to the body, that makes a big difference as round 3 is about to come to an end, and we're starting to see more action between Soto Caras and Juan Carlos Abreu. We're going to stay here and listen to the corner of Jesus Soto Caras. It'll be Yuquita Morales.
Muy bien.
Our Hennessy corner cap. Never stop, never settle.
Muy bien.
Take a deep breath. You're doing well.
Hacia atrás. Eso.
Put that
Muy
ice on
bien,
the back
güero.
of his
Sí,
neck.
güero. Llévelo.
That's
Ahora
how
sí.
you got to do it,
Vamos a
kid.
apretar más la cuña ya.
All right, now we got to tighten things up. You're touching him up. Are you feeling his punches? No, I'm okay.
Ya.
I'm
Ahora sí.
okay now.
Vamos a apretar cuña ya.
All right, now we're
Ya,
going to go
ahora sí,
tighten things
ahora
up.
sí.
We're going to go forward.
Ya lo que quería que bajara, ya bajó, ya bajó.
All right, you
ya
already
bajó.
brought him down a little bit.
Miguel abajo. Le
Now you
duele
got to keep
abajo,
working the
está
body.
abriendo la boca, güero.
He keeps opening his mouth
No
because
dejes
you're
de
hurting him
rematar
to the
abajo,
body.
que se te pegue.
Even if he
Pícale
hits
dos abajo y
you,
uno arriba.
pop him twice to the body and then go upstairs.
Sobre de él y marcándolo con
On
el jab.
top of him
márquelo
and
con el
use
jab,
that jab. You gotta
márquelo
mark
con el
him with the
todo el
jab.
tiempo, mueve la cintura, mueve la cintura, güero.
You move your waist. You got to move your waist. He's not letting you come in.
Bien vivo, güero.
All right, go get him. What do you think about the instructions in the corner from Yuquita Morales and Francisco Espinosa?
They're good instructions because they already noticed that going to the body is going to slow him down. And that's exactly what I would tell Soto Caras. Obviously, if you know Soto Caras as a fighter, you know that he takes 2 to give 1.
Yeah.
But his 1 is doing more damage along the road. And that's what he's doing. If he keeps applying pressure, obviously, knowing him, he's going to keep getting hit. But he needs to apply pressure, close the gap, and keep touching that body. See, they already told him, you gotta move, you gotta start moving your upper body, bowing and weaving. And now he's doing it. You can't just come forward and on a straight line against a fighter that throws punches and is just hunting you down.
In terms of Juan Carlos Abreu, who had a great start to the fight, you don't notice that 502-day layoff, those 17 months away from the ring. He said, I didn't fight. I had fights fall through, but I was always in the gym getting good sparring in. And he's just looking to tee off. I don't think he's also really pressing the fight and making Soto Caras work as much as he should.
Yeah, he's being cautious. He's just being cautious. You know, these fighters are smart. They have a good amateur pedigree. Most of the Dominican fighters are smart. They're boxers. You know, you go back to Joan Guzman. You know, those fighters are very slick. You know, we got Felix Diaz, which they make you think twice before you throw a punch.
You know, you talk about amateur experience. He was a 9-time Dominican Republic national champion. He had 360 amateur bouts, and Juan Carlos Abreu won 330 of them. So he's no slouch. He knows that he's got the skill set, but sometimes he doesn't use it because he doesn't let his hands go. Here, because Soto Caras is on him, he's kind of forced to be more offensive, and his conditioning would be put to the test. And later on, when he throws some body shots, Soto Caras will put that to the test. But if he can continue to land that uppercut up the middle against Soto Caras, he's going to continue to be effective.
Another thing, I was explaining to you what Soto Caras needs to do. Soto Caras needs to apply pressure, smart pressure, touching the body, measure with a jab, make Abreu open up a little bit. On the other hand, Abreu needs to make Soto Caras walk backwards. Soto Caras is the fighter that just comes forward.
Right.
I don't remember ever seeing him box, use the ring, moving back. But he needs to apply pressure, make him go back, and at the same time, stay busy, consistent.
Big right hand there from Juan Carlos Abreu, who closes a gap with a forward step. And then right now he's using his jab here at the end of round number 4, trying to punctuate what has been a solid round for the fighter out of the Dominican Republic.
Canelo, be bold. Hey, Canelo. No bueno. Be bold. Good there. Hey.
Be bolder.
Tecate Light, born bold.
Remembrance and reflection, community and celebration, humbled with honor. Our veterans are the silent heroes whose courage and bravery give greater meaning to what it is to be an American. This is a time for reuniting with those who served beside you, for the faces you missed while away. This is a day to stand tall, united with pride. This Veterans Day and every day, Grand Canyon University honors our heroes and pays tribute to your heroism. Thank you for your service.
If there's one thing we've seen throughout the career of Jesus Soto Caras is heart. But we're also seeing something different tonight. And I want you to explain what you see or what you don't see in this version of Jesus Soto Caras.
Well, first of all, when he puts in mind that, it could be his last fight, and then struggling so much, making the weight like he did yesterday. Honestly, I saw him on the weigh-ins, and to me, he looked dehydrated. Now, a dehydrated fighter, a dehydrated 36-year-old, he will not perform. He will not perform at his best. And tonight, I don't know, but I don't see Soto Caras doing what he usually does, get better in the later rounds. He will be slowing down because he was dehydrated yesterday. I felt like I looked in his face and he was dehydrated. Now, 36 years old, fighting a fighter that moves on him, that gives him problems. That's a wrong combination.
Yeah, and I mean, when you look at it, every fighter, as they become older, will tell you there's things that you can get away with when you're a younger fighter that you just simply cannot get away with. The body doesn't recover as well. The body doesn't react as well. And I think we're seeing that tonight from Jesus Soto Caras. All the dehydration, all the lack of training, coming down 40 pounds to take on Mauricio Herrera at this age, it's cumulative.
And one more thing about Soto Caras right now, he's opening his punches wide. I don't see those crisp, solid shots that he would land before when he knocked out Andre Berto with that left hook. I don't see that short, crisp left hook. Right now he's opening wide. He's getting draggy with his punches. But hopefully he gets better. Hopefully he gets better as the rounds go. But I don't see him right now doing anything that impresses me or that makes me think, you know what, he's going to win this fight.
Big right hand there from Juan Carlos Abreu, who shakes Jesus Soto Caras, who obviously comes forward, but it would seem that it's just bravado. At some point, the corner's going to have to take a look at Jesus Soto Caras and say, you know what, we've got to take care of you because you can't take care of yourself.
Yeah, Soto Caras is a great warrior.
Yes.
I mean, we've seen it. He has a lot of heart. He's one of those Mexican fighters that will give it their all, and like he says, I'll die in the ring if I have to.
But that's not what we want.
That's not what we want. He has a family, he has kids, and it's a big responsibility in that corner to take care of your fighter. Make sure he makes it back home to his family.
He said he was tired of the drag, of the whole making weight. He told his wife that, man, I'm so tired of this. She says, yeah, but then you get back in the ring, and that's when the smile comes back. The smile's not there tonight, Joel. From the beginning, from the moment he was preparing for this fight, the smile wasn't there, the giggles, the gregariousness of Jesus Soto Karass, and that is more telling than anything else as we're halfway through this fight.
Wrestling was his love.
Then it became a disease.
He could have his fantasy world and his family on the side.
Nature Boy!
There's nothing quite as magical as staying at a Disney Resort hotel. So imagine complimentary rides to and from the park, even extra time with your family in the park.
And now create a 6-night, 7-day package, including a select Walt Disney World Resort hotel room and theme park tickets for as little as $96 per person per day for a family of 4.
All right, tonight, Jesus Soto Karass is not passing the eye test, but also the numbers do not lie. He averages 93.6 punches per round in the last 10 fights. Tonight, he's down to 66 punches per round. And that's extremely telling because Jesus Soto Karass is not a defensive genius, but he's a volume puncher. And if he's not a volume puncher, he's vulnerable.
He sure is, and he's in a fight. He's in a fight. You know that every great fighter like Soto Karass, they come to fight. Regardless, they're gonna go through hell. But at the same time, you gotta be very careful. If you see that he's just taking punishment, and at the end of the day, you're not gonna win the fight, just go home. You know, you gotta make the right decision.
I've got him down 4-1 through the first 5 complete rounds, and it may even be a shutout so far if I'm being generous, giving him that 1 round. I mean, there's been very little from Jesus Soto Karass. There's frustration in the corner from what you heard as well, Joel.
Yes, sir. And also, on Abreu's corner, they asked him, how you feeling? He says, I'm not losing tonight. I got this. So that tells you a lot. He already felt some of Karass's strongest punches. And when you feel that they can't hurt you, I mean, you're in a fight and you're going to take over. You're in control now.
You know, and there's a new corner working the fight for Juan Carlos Abreu. He's got Wilmer Rodriguez and Ernesto Neto Sanchez, who's the brother of the former champion, Agapito Sanchez, because Herman Caicedo, who usually works his corners out of the gym in Miami, he had to work with Luis Ortiz. He was preparing for his fight against Anthony Joshua before the drug test came back positive. So he knew he had a big fight ahead of him, a historical fight, and so he had to concentrate his time on King Kong. So nonetheless, he feels that that corner that he's working with tonight has a lot of experience, and you can see that more than anything, he's got the perfect opponent in front of him to make himself look good.
With a good corner, great preparation, and a good mindset, I mean, it all tells you is you're going to win this fight. Right now, you can see a smile on his face. He's in control of the fight. He's landing every punch he throws, and Karass keeps looking for that one shot that can hurt him. Karass needs to close the gap a little more. Regardless, he's already getting hit. He needs to close the gap a little faster, move faster inside, and touch that body. He needs to touch that body. Forget the head right now. There we go.
It seems like he's listening to. Doesn't speak a lot of English, but he's doing the right thing here at the end of round number 6. And this is the Soto Karass we expected to see. More offensive, and if he can put some rounds together, I mean, like land that nice uppercut and create those openings, Jesus Soto Karass can go out the way he likes to go out.
He needs to, because if he says, you know what, this is gonna be my last fight, let's go all out.
Yeah, but you've seen fighters who know that their conditioning is not there. They have to reserve something for round number 10, and now you see Soto Karass finally opening up and maybe warming up a little bit.
Coming off a statement win, you either build on the momentum or watch your playoff hopes fade to black.
America. Drug addiction is plaguing our great country. Call Make America Sober Again now, before this disease destroys your family, your friends, your country. If you or someone you know is struggling with a drug or alcohol addiction, make the next minute in your life count. Call Make America Sober Again now and speak to someone that can help.
Call 800-585-9757.
Our next Golden Boy Boxing on ESPN's Fight Card will take us to Cancun, Mexico, November 16th. It'll be Jose Martinez against Jesus Martinez in a junior bantamweight main event. Puerto Rico's Jose is undefeated with 19-0 with 12 knockouts. Jesus hails from Colombia. He's 23-2 with 11 knockouts, and you won't want to miss that fight. All right, we've got a fight on our hands here. Jesus Soto Caras against Juan Carlos Abreu from the Dominican Republic, and we're finally starting to see a little bit of that Mexican warrior, much in the same blueprint of that Mauricio Herrera fight where he had a very slow start, but he had a strong finish. Let's see if he's got enough in the tank to do the same thing tonight and make it exciting.
Yuka Morales told him that's exactly what you need to do, and that's the fight you need to fight. You need to close the gap, get closer, and continue hitting the body. Slow Abreu down, because if you give him the distance, he thinks, and when he's thinking, he's landing the shots he wants to land. You cannot give him that edge of thinking at the distance. You gotta get close inside. And it looks like at this point, Soto Caras is doing better. I mean, he got his second win, and he's coming a little busier. He's getting more activity in there.
Suéltalo.
All right, last round, we're going to take a look at the total punches, and we talked about him picking up the rhythm a little bit. 77 thrown, they both landed 15 punches. Abreu only threw 51. The effectiveness continues to be in favor of the Dominican fighter, but if Soto Caras can continue to throw a lot of punches and land solid punches, that could turn the balance in his favor, if at least momentarily.
7th round, he's doing better than he did in the 3rd and 4th.
Yes.
So he just needs to maintain that pace. If he can maintain that pace and walk him down, he can be successful.
But also, you gotta like the footwork of Juan Carlos Abreu. You gotta respect his fight plan for the evening and his execution of such fight plan. The fact that Soto Caras came in flat helped him early, but he's able to use his legs, counter punch and catch Soto Caras coming in. So you gotta take what the opponent gives you.
At some points, Abreu needs to try something different. For example, get inside and make Caras go back. But because Caras is very consistent in coming forward. Great Mexican nature, though.
It's like it's not in Caras' nature to be more defensive or use his head. I mean, Abreu is who he is, and this is where he's very comfortable fighting. He's got a fighter in Soto Caras who's clumsy coming forward. He's not clean and taking his attack, and you see right there that sloppy left hook that left him wide open to the counter.
But it works for him. You know, they adapt with time. That's his style, and whatever style, it could look ugly, but it works for them. Soto Caras is a fighter that throws consistent punches. Sometimes he slaps a couple to give a good one, and they're effective for him. For example, look at the right hand, over right hand, and he follows up with a left to the body.
Well, he wasted a couple punches with the opportunity to land that one overhand right. Here as round 7 comes to an end.
Canelo, be bold.
Be bolder.
Whoa. Come on, Canelo, be bold.
Be bolder, Sly.
You got it. Let me get in there.
Tecate Light, born bold.
We're listening into the Hennessy Corner Cam. Never Stop, Never Settle. It's Francisco Espinosa who jumped in instead of Yarmon Yuquita Morales.
pues me avienta el vuelo, le voy a pegar un vergazo. Que me avise que va a subir.
Mírame. El trabajo que nosotros hicimos ya. Cuidado.
Yuka Morales is not at all happy. That's how you got to do it now. There's a conflict in the corner because Yuka Morales is usually the chief trainer. Now for this round, he was about to go in. Francisco Espinosa stepped in, not at all happy. What does that do in the corner, Joel?
Well, it's a little confusing because now instead of having the person who's going to guide you, give you the instructions, now you got the cut man in there. But when there's a cut, when there's some sort of a cut in the fight, that's when you switch. But obviously the man giving you the instructions is supposed to be right next to you, right outside in the apron. I don't know what happened at that moment, but Francisco Espinosa came in, and he's just a cut man.
All right, so a little bit of uneasiness there in the corner of Jesus Soto Caras. Maybe trying to switch things up. Didn't work because he got caught with a nice uppercut, and it looks like he's in trouble there against the ropes, and Soto Caras goes down. This is not looking good.
4,
He's done.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9. ¿Estás bien? ¿Estás bien?
He's not doing okay. Rocky Burke should have stopped the fight here, and Soto Caras is about to get knocked out. And this should be the end of his career. A sad way to go out for Jesus Soto Caras. Devastating way to go out. That's the last thing you want to see, but you got to give Juan Carlos Abreu credit. He took advantage of the opportunities, he took advantage of the openings, and Juan Carlos Abreu knocks out Jesus Soto Caras here in round number 8. There we see Jesus Soto Caras, a man who we knew would go out on his shield, and that's exactly what happened, but he never should have been allowed to continue after being dropped. Well,
it's sad. It's sad to see a fighter, a great warrior, go down like that. I mean, you've seen it as the rounds went, that he wasn't getting any better. He was taking punishment, clean shots.
All right, let's take a look at how this fight ended. And the first knockdown, we saw at ringside that he was done. Walk us through it.
Well, that overhand right did the damage first. He was already hurt, I saw it. And then after that, that next one came.
And hit him right on the temple, and down went Jesus Soto Caras. We knew he was done, but Rocky Burke wanted to give him a chance, and all he did was allow him to take more punishment.
It's hard to recover when you're a dehydrated fighter.
Yes.
And I knew that he was dehydrated yesterday. When you get knocked down, it's longer to recover.
And Abreu, you got to give him credit. He pounced right on him when he saw that he was in trouble. And Juan Abreu earns his 19th knockout and 20 victories. When he decides that he wants to win a fight by knockout, he's been able to do it. Joe Martinez is in the center of the ring with the official time.
Ladies and gentlemen, the end comes officially. 1 minute 8 seconds. 1 minute 7 seconds, round number 8. Your winner by TKO from the Dominican Republic, Juan Carlos Abreu.
So Juan Carlos Abreu adds Jesus Soto Caras to the long list of knockout victims, 19 of them and 20 victories. And Jesus Soto Caras will have to think things through, because if his legs aren't there, if his punches aren't there, if his dedication isn't there in training, then he really has to consider retirement. We'll come back with more from Tucson, Arizona at the Casino del Sol with Golden Boy Boxing on ESPN, where Juan Carlos Abreu knocked out Jesus Soto Caras. Golden Boy Boxing on ESPN is presented by Tecate, the official beer of boxing. And it's brought to you by Hennessy, never stop, never settle. And by Thor, Ragnarok, in theaters everywhere this Friday. And now we're joined by Jesus Soto Caras, who was knocked out in 8 rounds. Jesus, is this it for you? Jesus, después de lo que vimos, ¿ya es el adiós para ti?
Pues mira, lo voy a platicar con mi equipo de trabajo,
I'm
mi
gonna talk it over with
familia.
my family, my team.
Lo más seguro es de que posiblemente diga adiós ya al boxeo.
I think the most sure thing is that I say bye to
Todo
boxing.
depende de la plática que tengo con mi equipo de trabajo, con mi familia, y vamos a tomar una decisión si digo adiós, cuelgo los guantes o sigo como entrenador o hago otra cosa, pero si me tengo que decir adiós, yo creo que me voy con la frente en alto.
You know, I'm going to talk it over with my team, and we'll make that final call. If I decide to stay with my team, my wife will have a lot of say, but I think the end is near. I think I want to say goodbye to boxing, but if this was my farewell, then I go with my head high. Thank you very much for your great career and all those great wars you gave us here on ESPN and throughout the years. And it's time to go for us as well. So I want to thank Joel Diaz, Jesus Soto Caras here, and a great fight card we had here at the Casino del Sol in Tucson, Arizona, where Jesus Soto Caras was knocked out in 8 rounds. So a very good night from Tucson, Arizona for Joel Diaz. I'm Bernardo Osuna. Coming up next, it's Nacion ESPN, presented by Toyota. Don't miss November 16th. We're in Cancun, Mexico. Martinez versus Martinez.